Chers amis, nous allons chanter pour vous le chant de évoquer le nom d'Avalokiteshvara, le bodhisattva de la grande compassion et de l'écoute profonde. C'est un moment très important. C'est l'amour ultime qui nous est offert sous cette forme-là. Avalokiteshvara est un symbole, le symbole de l'amour, le symbole maternel, le symbole qui écoute. Elle est toujours présente dès que nous l'évoquons. Nous allons chanter, évoquer son nom, et nous verrons à ce moment-là, par 3 fois, nous allons évoquer son nom.
I'm sorry, I will start. So Sister is going to share with us the story of Avalokiteshvara.
Pour pouvoir avoir la force ensuite d'envoyer cette énergie
The
d'amour,
great
de compassion.
Bodhisattva of great compassion.
Et puis à ceux qui sont plus loin, nous évoquerons notre...
We can send this energy to those who are close to us.
Le deuxième chant, nous envoyons notre énergie à Taï.
For the second part of the chant, we can also think of the monastics and send this energy to those who are in suffering at this moment, in situations of difficulty, people who are hungry, people who cannot eat correctly, etc. in this moment. Also, in our hearts, there are many of us who need help. Thank you very much. So this is the chant of Avalokiteshvara to generate the compassion within ourselves as we care for ourselves and for others.
Cho camera luôn.
Chère Taille, chères sœurs et frères, chers amis,
Dear Thai,
permettre aux traducteurs
dear brothers, dear sisters, dear friends,
le
I will
message
speak slowly to allow our
le message aussi du Bouddha.
translators to transmit the message of Thai of the community, the message of also Jesus Christ and the Buddha. Today, we will
La connexion.
speak of the subject that is very, very important. The connection, how to connect with ourselves, with others, how to meet this connection.
Nous sommes,
Yes, we are being registered. Everyone can hear me well. If there's trouble, please let us know. We are the 6th of August, 2021 at Healing Spring Monastery in Verdelot. We are in the
il est grand de
brothers.
cœur. Il y a beaucoup de
We say that it's small, but in fact it's very big. It's big from the heart. Lots of happiness, lots of joy in this place. We are very happy, the sisters of Maison l'Inspire of Villeneuve de Verdelot, to be here to share this moment with you.
Quelque chose qui est impossible.
How can we talk about connection without talking about love? This is something impossible. So almost 2 years now, we have been in very particular situation. How do we meet each other? How do we connect? We see each other with a mask. We smile behind the mask. We don't look at each other. We look through the eyes, and this is how we transmit our friendship, our love. This is very important. Let's remember this. There was a moment before this situation. There is a moment during the situation of the coronavirus, we may say. It has changed the situation. He changes his nature. All of us, the whole earth, the cosmos is in the middle of movement and creation. Please keep your distance. This morning, we have listened to the teaching of our brother Tai, who has guided us. Beautiful teaching, return to ourselves, learning how to breathe. A guided meditation, very precious. We return to ourselves. We learn how to construct this island within, which all of us need dearly. Just before, almost a year and a half now, the connection between humans, us all, was easy. We could have met each other, we could hug each other, kiss each other, smiles, very human. There were no suspicions of transmitting the virus. You agree? Do you understand? The translator, ça va, sœur. Ça va pour la traduction? Oui, ça va. Ça va pour vous? Is everything okay for you? Can you hear me well? Sister says, if I speak too quickly, please let me know and I will slow down. Yes. The Buddha says to us, impermanence.
Il y a le temps maintenant, et il y aura
So there's the moment before, there's the moment now, and there's the moment after. Now we have to keep our distance.
S'installer tout doucement. Ce sentiment
And we let our mind, our spirit, gently, because the situation now is we run the risk of infecting others of the virus. So gently, we are careful. Yeah, and it creates fear. So we create the distance. It's not really justified, this huge distance between us humans. We need to look with another perspective. We need to look clearly, visibly, in coming back to ourselves is another way of looking truly at what the situation is within ourselves, in our family, the people surrounding us. I know there are people who are from India. There is a great impact on the situation in India, in the families also. So please looking deeply is important at the moment. My family, 11 of us caught COVID, not at the Maison de l'Inspire, but in my personal family, among 14, 11 of us caught the virus. That's a lot. We were very lucky because the consequences can be grave, but there it was okay, relatively okay. My little grandson, he was the one that brought the virus into the family. He was the first victim. You see, let's change our perspective so that we can have space in our hearts to understand, to have compassion, and to have love regarding the consequence of this impact. We are not able to communicate like before. We come back to our family, come back to our home, come back to our rooms. And we are only people with whom we live. This is a time of loneliness, perhaps. We feel, look at my smile, it's impermanent, my smile. And you know what? Well, we have the possibility, extraordinarily, we can communicate with you on Zoom. You are at your home, in your house, in front of your screens, and yet we are able to meet each other. You have opened the door and we have entered into your homes, and we can listen and we can see each other in happiness, in joy, and we can have an exchange. This is another form of reconnecting. You understand? A little bit we are disconnected, but now we are reconnecting. This is an extraordinary opportunity. There are hundreds and millions of people who are working, looking so that one day we could have this happiness. Our teacher, Tai, had proposed already that we would have a monastery online. Since 2008, 2007, 2006, I don't remember, but I remember Tai, he had asked us to put our monastery online. He is completely present. So we together have found a solution to reconnect. This is very important. There was a rupture, but this is new. We can come back, we can reconnect. We can see each other without the mask, see each other smiling. Yes? Look, smiling with all of our presence and being. Another thing that is very important, when we contact someone, when we meet someone, that person expresses through their body, their eyes. It could be happy eyes, could be sad eyes. but there is an expression of the body, how we hold our heads, how we hold our upper body, what we do with our arms. We come into contact with the other. This is how we express ourselves through the body. So we have learned a lot within these few months. So what were the temptations, the difficulties? For the most part, it's because we have been confined at home. And so we explore, we try to find all sorts of opportunities, options to connect with the outside world, messages, photos, funny stories, little films, videos, comical ones. We try to keep this vitality of the contact, the joy of living. In France, we had, during this confinement, we had people who every day, in Paris, in other cities, they would clap. You know, there were people who were hospitalized near death. You remember? It was marvelous. I saw, thanks to the video, to the film, in Brazil, the police sung and danced under the windows of those who lived in isolated apartments. I don't know what they did, samba or rumba, but very Brazilian. They danced and they sung. And the people in the apartments were in their balcony, on their balcony, and they were very happy. I saw also, you know, in India, I traveled, I went to India. The police walked in the streets and reminded people to wash your hands, wash between the fingers. They did this while singing and dancing. This gives us the possibility to be creative. Before, we couldn't imagine such a thing. Magnificent, no? In the middle of this suffering, in the middle of this difficulty, in the middle of this illness, there is freedom, there is creativity, there is beauty, there is generosity, very, very big. Please, may I have a sound of the bell?
J'ai oublié de vous présenter.
I forgot to show you our teacher. I don't know if you can see well. This is Tai. He is always with us. I have invited him to support me, to carry me.
Très bien.
Very well.
Les conditions de vie ont changé sur cette
Life
planète.
conditions have changed on this planet.
Nous avons plein de ressources, plein de capacités, plein de beauté.
We have lots of capacity, lots of beauty, resources.
J'ai fait une overdose d'informations. Vous savez ce que c'est une overdose
I
d'informations?
speak of myself. I don't speak of all of us. You know, we have an overdose of information. Do you understand what that is, an overdose of information?
D'informations. Hein? La télévision, les
An
journaux,
overdose
les discussions entre les personnes,
of information.
tous les moyens
TV,
étaient bons,
newspapers,
les magazines,
discussions between people,
tous les moyens étaient
all types of opportunities to exchange magazines.
posés.
Yes, all of those ways in which we can
Tel ne s'est
bring ourselves up
il est calme.
to the real situation. It is the reality today. No, look at my face. My face is joyful and calm and peaceful.
Quelle est notre place?
There are different currents,
Comment devons-nous
and we are in the middle of this current. What is our place in this current?
et pour ce
Before
faire,
us, how should we carry ourselves?
au lieu de courir après
Let's take the middle road. Let's keep the calm. How do we do this?
l'information,
Instead of running after information here and there, instead of running after, I have stopped. I have done a cure of disinfection. You see, I've gone to India, I've gone to Brazil, I've gone to the earth, even to South Africa by Zoom.
mais
Information given to us. So I have traveled in this manner. But
c'est-à-dire notre capacité
it was too much.
d'acceptation, notre capacité de compréhension, notre capacité de
That is my capacity to accept, my capacity to stabilize. If I have too much information, that renders me in danger.
J'ai arrêté complètement d'écouter les informations.
De-intoxication.
Le monde,
I stopped completely listening to the news, reading the newspaper, Le Monde, Observator, etc. You know, all those newspapers. I de-intoxicated myself. Anyways, I'm just learning the same thing every day.
Donc, ceci
And I realized there are no new news. It's the same thing every day. So this is very important.
C'est ce que nous a offert
to know how to learn to stop. This is what we are offering
l'occasion de nous arrêter,
during this pandemic.
de nous poser.
This is an occasion to stop,
Pour le moment, de nous poser,
an occasion
arrêter,
to really come back to ourselves, to stop, to be stable, just to breathe, to come back to ourselves.
Avec qui devons-nous nous
to be
connecter?
well posed. This is very important. So,
Retourner à nous-mêmes, nous
with
arrêter,
ourselves. Come back to ourselves.
Avant Monsieur Covid, nous courions à droite, nous courions à gauche, nous avions du
Let's come
travail à
back to
l'extérieur.
this island within. Before Monsieur COVID and Mr. COVID, we ran, you know, we ran here and we ran there and we never stopped. Thanks to this stopping, we can continue to build this island within. Very
Chercher le mot connecté hier.
necessary. We can come back to connect with ourselves. We meet ourselves. I looked up the word connection yesterday. He talks more.
Mais on se connecte
The
avec
dictionary
soi-même,
spoke
comme on
more
se
about
connecte aux autres.
the plugs, the female and male plugs and computers, and how do we connect
Et on découvre les 4 nobles vérités.
back to ourselves. We learn
On les ouvre à l'intérieur de nous-mêmes.
and we discover the 4 noble truths.
C'est vrai.
We develop them and we breathe them and live them.
Elle est là pour nous. Et c'est la
There
raison
is suffering, yes.
Il avait
There is
trouvé
suffering within us.
un terme à la souffrance.
This is why the Buddha
Il y a la souffrance, c'est
found
ta
a
première norme
way
vérité.
to stop
Utilise,
the suffering. So
on peut dire, il y a le mal-être.
there is suffering. That is the first
Il y a le chemin, c'est la deuxième noble
noble
vérité.
truth.
Le chemin qui mène au mal-être.
There is the path.
C'est un chemin qui, chaque fois
There
que nous
is a path that leads to the
augmente
suffering.
notre difficulté, notre mal-être. Je vous ai dit tout à l'heure que
Each time that
la télévision quand j'étais chez maman, regarder
I said that
écouter, lire,
if we watch too much television,
avait créé en moi
read too much newspaper, magazines, that created in me
à laquelle
difficulties.
vraiment à terme.
And I really wanted to stop that. Created a lot of suffering. So there is a road to suffering, a road which leads. And since there is impermanence, there is also the possibility to stop that suffering. And at that moment, you see, I stopped. And that is how I stopped the suffering difficulty. As I had explained, I stopped watching television, I stopped watching the news, reading the newspaper, and I stopped the suffering. We need food. It is the nourishment that needs to nourish ourselves. We have 4 types of nutriments. The first, we eat through the mouth. Very important. When we don't feel well, we have to look. So what did we eat? What did we drink? Is it taking us towards the refrigerator, towards cigarettes, towards chocolate, towards alcohol, like pastilles? How do we stop? What has caused the suffering? Let's take a look. But you see, when we go towards these items, that doesn't help reduce the suffering. No, not at all. There is the second type of food, which is through our senses, comes through our ears, through our mouth, exchange with others around us. Sometimes we are in hopelessness.
Pour compenser. Par exemple, tout à l'heure, avant de venir vous voir, je suis allée me promener. C'est pas trop vite? Je suis allée me promener dans le jardin des frères. Et j'ai vu leur J'ai vu la beauté de maître zen.
Simplicity and the beauty and the delicateness of the Zen practice. For example, if we look at the flowers of carrots or other types of flowers, we can look in our gardens. You know, the grass was cut and next there were flowers of carrots. And it made him think of the constellation. Very beautiful, white, very beautiful. All types of flowers, wildflowers. Each time he looked at these wildflowers, he respected them. And this is a very particular world. This is also my fashion of nourishing myself, keeping myself happy. There is the fourth, this path that eliminates the suffering, the path that brings us to well-being, the path that puts an end to suffering. I had the freedom. I walked almost 45 minutes. You see, that is freedom.
Que je ne sois pas, que je ne les mette pas en difficulté, par exemple. Ou bien j'avais la possibilité.
I don't put myself in difficulty. Of course, I have the possibility to walk gently, peacefully, to contemplate with all my eyes the beauty of the world, listening to the rain falling gently on the flowers, the branches, the leaves, to look and to respect the brothers and their environment, to see the flowers of the pumpkins. They're huge, yellow, green, with raindrops, huge, huge leaves. They hold on to these raindrops. This is how I prepared to be with you, to nourish myself, to stop my own suffering. You know, I am suffering at the moment because of the deaths in my family, but I am nourishing myself. Please, I would like a sound of the bell. Thank you.
J'ai pu me régaler avec le son de la
I
petite.
could celebrate the sound of this beautiful flower suspended from a tree of the chestnut. She's singing for you, singing for us, singing for the small friends in the garden, to nourish us, to heal us. When we sit down in meditation, please let's look at our aspiration. This is the third edible, the third nutriment. What is our aspiration, the deepest aspiration within us? What makes us move? What gives us the love of life? What helps us to realize projects in life? This is our aspiration. And this is what brings us and carries us the day we play hide and seek and are no longer here. This is our aspiration. Do you have any great aspirations to realize? Because this aspiration carries us and creates the world around us, creates the world that surrounds us. Because we are not separated, we live in interbeing and impermanence. We live together. At this very moment, this is an energy collective that is pushing the world because we are all in the same condition, the condition of COVID.
Il faut qu'elle soit belle. J'avais envie de vous proposer.
So what is our aspiration? It's necessary that our aspiration is beautiful. You know, let's talk about our aspiration. Do we want to come back and be the communicator announcing spring? Well, you can say we're coming towards the end of summer, but hey, let's announce the beginning of spring. What sort of spring are we talking about? Have you remarked that the brothers and the sisters have magnificent smiles? Sisters and brothers, have you seen that? They have magnificent smiles, and yet they have given everything. They live a very simple life. They've given everything. So simple that there are no complications. So simple, we don't need to swim and sink. This is an aspiration. We have left everything to find happiness, to find the path towards happiness, so we can share with all our friends. Can you imagine this happiness? So let us, we can try to live a simple life. Among you, there are many who come from all over the world. Some of you already live in an extreme simplicity. If we would like to be happy, let's choose a simple life. You see, we all dress in the same way. A simple life is what awaits us. And if we learn how to be happy in living simply, we don't have difficulties really. Just look before us, all around. What do we really need to be alive? This is the path to happiness. For days and days we have prepared. You know, it's difficult to find work right now, but look, we have work to do. We have to pay, yes, the rent for a home. Yes, sure, we have to work. We have to pay for the car. You know, for a material life, we need to pay. I am not criticizing that. No, this is normal. But perhaps we can learn how and to reflect what is really the necessity. What do we really need? What are the essentials that we truly need to happily live? We have seen that we need to reconnect. So let's take the time to sit down. Take a notebook, a pen like this. We sit down in meditation and we look deeply. What is it that I truly need, truly essentials? And please write it down. Note it down on the little notebook. What do I truly very much need? Take the time. Learn how to take the time. That is the true need, the time to take care of self. Take the time to really come back to ourselves, feeling more posed. I know there are a lot of young people who are listening to me today. I see them, yes, I see quite a few. There are many friends who live outside of France also. They have their own needs, yes. That's magnificent. Please let us come together. We are happy. Why? We are happy because we live in community. So together, please. We live together in a community. We don't own anything and yet we have everything. We don't need to own. Ownership is not important. We can share. I'm losing the sound. For the young who are listening to me, they are constructing their lives. Please think about that. Yes, think of that. Together we are constructing the future. The future is not at all finished. No, we are building a future at this moment, all of us, and we are putting all of our energy into constructing a beautiful future. If we think there is no future, we are wrong. There is a beautiful future before us. There is the possibility to live beautiful things still, to bring happiness to ourselves, to others, to develop happiness within us, and to bring that happiness to those who are waiting. And when we are older, when we are more adults, then we can truly transmit. And that is done through our ability to be happy. Not necessarily to run after money, sex, or fame, good food, etc. We don't need to run after that. We can find happiness elsewhere in a different fashion.
Vous êtes en train de rencontrer quelque chose en ce moment à travers ce que je vous dis.
You are in the middle of meeting something at this moment through what I am saying. Happiness, we don't look for it outside of ourselves. We cannot buy happiness at a supermarket. Happiness is not something we can depend on and look for in our partner. No, it's not to be found in the children. No, not our happiness. That's not where I find happiness. Where to find this happiness? Where can we find this happiness? Can we find this happiness? In connecting with ourselves, in returning to our source, in separating slowly these small sands, grains of sand, so that the water from the source can once again flow. With the in-breath and the out-breath conscious, I breathe in. Our brother has helped us to breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, I feel this body. I am conscious of this body. I breathe out, I calm my body. I relax my body. I'm aware. I breathe in. I breathe out. I let happiness take birth in my heart. I can feel that joy. Maybe it's asleep, but we all have these seeds of happiness within us, these seeds of joy. Yes, we water them, yes. And try, please, if you water the nettles and the thorns, well, they will grow. There will be sadness. I don't know. Whatever our habit is, whatever we hear, let's open, let's cultivate this joy from within. It exists. You know, it's very contagious, this joy, extremely contagious. So be careful. You will render someone incredibly happy when they become infectious. You can share. When you telephone your friends and your friends tell you sad stories, oh yeah, you can listen. But don't let the person leave you before they give you 3 nice stories. What is going well in your life, mother, father? What is going well in your life, brother and sister? Tell me all that is going well in your life, not just stories of sadness and difficulties. No, don't stay in pessimism. There is a reason to be alive. We're not so far from there. There is a reason to be alive. So let us be announcers of spring. Come back and be the persons to open these doors, these windows. Please look. Can you go to Finistère, which is, for those of you who don't know, in France, we have a region, Finistère. It's the end of the earth when translated into English. It's a part of our country, France. There are rocks that advance well into the ocean, where the ocean comes towards the earth. Extremely dangerous for boats. Many boats have sunk in that area called Finistère. So they have built a lamp lighthouse. I don't know how it worked exactly, but maybe it takes 2-3 years to build a lighthouse, you know, to see the waves and the difficult waves. And each lighthouse with its light, with its rhythm, like us, each one of us, sweeping the night, bringing light. 1, 2, 3, light. Yes, for example, a lighthouse, maybe from the west, maybe from the east. If we were to become these lighthouses, you know, I saw one. There are people inside and they remain quiet. Sometimes when these huge waves come crashing into the rocks, well, they stay there and they light the light in the lighthouse. They become the light. You understand me, yes? We can become the lighthouses. We are already lighting, brilliant light. We can become the path of light, the path of beauty. I take refuge in the Buddha who shows me the way in this life. This is the way. I take refuge in the Dharma, the path of comprehension and love. I take refuge in the Sangha, the community that lives in harmony, in mindfulness, guides me and supports me and helps me to the delusion of a separate self. Lighthouses, if we breathe mindfully, if we walk in meditation with joy, there will within us be happiness and joy. We are these lighthouses. We are already these lighthouses, and this will continue and last and endure if we keep the light on. It's very important. This is what our earth is needing at this moment.
Je viens de boire de l'eau tiède et je la laisse pénétrer profondément en moi.
I've just had a sip of water,
Nous ne sommes
warm.
pas des êtres
I let this water now penetrate deeply within myself.
Nous pouvons
We are not separate selves. Thanks to this water, we can live. We come back to connect with ourselves so we can connect with the world. Little water, where do you come from? You come from clouds.
Voyez-vous un nuage dans le verre?
Do you see? There's a cloud in my glass.
Je viens des ruisseaux.
I come from the rain.
Je viens des nappes
I
phréatiques.
come from the streams, from waterfalls, from rivers.
Et des
I
stalagmites en tombe.
sleep in silence in the
Dans le
caves deep. I
grand
am stalagmite, stalactites in the caves, one drop at a time.
J'ai
I am formed.
J'ai trouvé une issue. Et je suis sortie. Alors on m'a appelée source.
So slowly, slowly, I fill up the cave and I leave
Les hommes m'ont capturée.
gently
De
as
moi,
the source, water from the source. And man has captured me. They have made me
l'eau qui
water that I am in your
De l'eau.
glass today, Sister Giac Nghiem.
L'eau qui te permet
Water which nourishes you, water which brings you energy,
d'entretenir l'ensemble de ta maison.
water that allows you to wash yourselves in the home. I am water.
Êtres humains aussi dedans. Beaucoup de souffrance.
Yeah, there's a lot of work by the human hand, a lot of suffering, a lot of construction, for example, of the dams, of the canals,
Pour amener l'eau jusqu'à nous.
construction of pipes
On travaillait dur.
to bring water directly to us. How much work, difficult work,
Et l'eau est là.
despite
Témoigner.
their hands that hurt, their backs that hurt. They have worked to bring us water, and today the water is here to bear witness. There has been change has happened. This is deep insight of meditation. So,
Elle est
what is
dans nos
before
yeux,
me?
dans nos larmes, dans notre transpiration.
Helping my body, my entire body. This water is in my eyes, in my tears, everywhere. Not 1 millimeter of my body is there not water. I am. We are we inter-are with the cloud. Can you imagine? Please imagine. Imagine the happiness that this represents. When I eat, I restitute water to the nature because I also nourish nature. Whatever I eat, I also procure. And yes, the food comes from the earth. I restore water, etc. The best way to do it. Please look deeply. Please sit down. Please meditate. Thai has always said, please drink your tea. Even through WhatsApp or Zoom. Yes. Please rediscover the reality. We are made of the universe. Each one of our breaths brings us closer to the trees. Each expiration, out breath, we are nourishing the grass, the flowers, the trees.
Pas les forêts amazoniennes et tout ça, vérifiez.
Plants, they bring the most oxygen to the earth. The Amazon tell us that, the forest in the Amazon. Please, let's look together in this direction of contemplation. This is how we reconnect with all that is around us, all that which nourishes us, all that which gives us the vitality to move. Let's take a look. When we eat, let's try to see. When we breathe, please, let's contemplate. Let's look at the trees, thank them. They are the source of our oxygen. And this oxygen nourishes the body so that we can live a long time.
Alors on continue.
Yes, it exists, this oxygen, still quite a lot. So let's continue to breathe. Let's continue to be nourished by this in-breath and out-breath, this oxygen. We are beings that exchange conditions that help us to exchange. The earth gives us to eat, and all that then constructs our cells, our body, our teeth, our bones, our hair, our fingernails, toenails. And that is the miracle. The earth is everywhere in us, not 1 centimeter, not 1 millimeter, where the earth is not covering our body. So let us reinstitute this food back to the earth, that which has nourished us, and let's nourish the earth. We nourish now the plants, the animals, the fish. We we are completely linked, connected in that moment. The sun, same thing. The sun is everywhere in the warmth of our body, in the sun ray that we absorb, the contact with our skin, and the sun allows us to live, guarding, giving life. We can only grow thanks to the sun. So this space within us, if you look, you will find in a place where you could not have imagined, in the bones. I love these walks, these meditations, nourishes me and keeps me in the reality of the nature. Yes, everything is at the atomic level, in the bones. Yes, the atoms move because you know they move all the time. There's lots of space, enormous space in our body. Outside also, in the rocks, in the earth. A bell, please.
Se comprendre pour s'aimer. Comprendre l'autre pour l'aimer. Pouvez-vous imaginer cela?
what we understand we love. Can you imagine? There's so much difficulty at this moment in the communication. We have difficulty understanding because we're attached to our ideas. Yes, very attached to our ideas. And we want with all our heart that the other understands us and follows our ideas. Can you imagine that? But if everyone thinks like this on this earth, learning to understand the other, to have the capacity to listen to their suffering, we need to stop and listen. Listen with a loving heart, open in a way.
Nous ne portions pas de jugement, nous ne condamnions pas, même
That in front of us
font des misères qui nous repoussent, qui ne sont pas d'accord. Apprendre à les comprendre.
We do not bring misery, we do not bring suffering. We try to understand.
Je vous ai apporté ces quatre
Well,
nobles
we need
vérités.
to understand our own suffering. We have seen just now
Si je souffre, l'autre souffre aussi, c'est
the
ça.
Four Noble Truths.
Mais nous avons aussi beaucoup de joie, beaucoup de bonheur, beaucoup de
Suffer
possibilités de
the
guérison.
others too.
Ouvrir la
But we
porte,
also have lots of joy, lots
ouvrir la porte à la joie.
of happiness, lots of possibility to be in a good situation. Let's open the door
Ça n'est
so that our hearts, our body are ready to listen to the suffering. It's not through selfishness. If we are stable, we are well, and if we could develop sufficiently our joy, our happiness of living, then we can listen to the other, whatever they say, whatever they do, because we have understood ourselves, because we have come back to ourselves, because we have connected with ourselves, and we can reconnect even with what
on ne peut pas entendre.
makes us suffer, with things and people that we
Très
don't
important.
feel good about, we can't connect well with. We can do it.
Mon ami, tu souffres, mon bien-aimé.
Very important.
C'est pour ça
You
que
suffer, my
comme
dear.
ceci, que tu agis comme cela.
Yes, you are suffering, my
dis-
dear. And that is why you are reacting in such a way.
Mais c'est la
And that's
réalité.
why you say this and you say that.
Pas. Elle ne serait pas.
That's in our heart. We don't have to say that,
Je veux me
but that
reconnecter.
is the reality. If the other person doesn't suffer, that person wouldn't behave in such a way. So I will come back and reconnect.
Je vais prendre du temps
I will look for happiness and joy
à écouter ta
within myself. I will take the time to learn, to listen to your
Tout
call,
ce qui était beau,
to develop my love for you.
avant que le conflit ne s'élève
I
entre
will
nous.
remember all that is beautiful, all that is marvelous
Et à penser
before.
comme tu es. Je ne te demande
I
pas
will
de
learn how to
répondre.
speak.
Je
I
t'aime.
love you as you are. I don't ask you to be different from what you are. I love you as you are.
C'est déjà
Whatever you carry in yourself, whatever you
Quelqu'un qui-
offer me, it's marvelous. It's already magnificent. I would like to be someone close to you, to better understand you, so that together we can create a beautiful universe with more understanding, less selfishness, less violence,
Et là, je parle à tout le
less
monde
anger.
et aux jeunes aussi.
We can be together,
Un où on peut
whatever
être heureux ensemble.
age. Are young also. Let's create a future, a real one, yes?
C'est possible.
Happy together. That kind of future. It is possible. It's already there. It is already there.
J'étais très
Please
triste, très
remember
dé-
one thing.
Je ne savais pas
Tai
comment
has
aider
said
quelqu'un qui
this.
était loin et qui avait besoin
One day I
d'aide.
was quite sad and quite hopeless, and I didn't know how to help someone from far. That person really needed help. I didn't know how. And Thai said to me,
Tout
so
l'univers.
Giac Nghiem,
Vous savez
your
que
musical note fills
rien
all
gardé dans
of the universe. You understand me?
Si on
You know
garde dans
how
le
Thai he
cœur
gives
égoïste,
us gifts. That's for everyone.
les paroles de Thierry dans un
Nothing
cas comme
is
ça.
for us alone. Nothing to be kept in the pockets. If
Notre
we
nom
do that, then
de
it's
musique,
completely useless, these teachings of Thai. No, we need to share. Let's not keep these teachings in our pockets. Our musical note fills all of the universe. That means that whatever I do, whatever I think,
c'est pour ça que
thanks to interbeing,
tristesse, parce que personne ne sait trop bien comment faire.
all of the universe can take advantage. That's why we don't want to be in sadness,
Comme éveilleurs du
because
printemps. Si nous nous mettons
don't stay there. That's what we will be sharing.
du bonheur, de ce qu'il y a de beau,
But if we are awakened to the spring and we pronounce the spring, talk about the beauty, talk about all that is marvelous, yes, let us be such.
il nous suffit
Yes, the world
de
has changed.
décider
Yes, the world can continue beautifully, and that is enough. We just need to decide, make that decision.
de construire ce bonheur en moi.
I have decided to be a bringer of good news, a bearer of the spring in myself solidly, and to share with all the beings that I will meet
La dernière chose
in gratitude,
que je voulais vous dire,
in the joy of living.
développer notre
And then, last thing
et notre
I
gratitude.
would like to say to you,
Tous les êtres font
please
nous.
let us develop our confidence in humanity and our gratitude for all the beings, whatever is done for us from instant to instant. Always
Où
gratitude.
il n'y a plus de
We can touch something very precious,
où l'autre,
a place
tout ce qui
where
nous
there are
entoure.
no more discrimination, no more thoughts, where the other is us, ourselves. We can touch all that is around us, contribute to our happiness.
Non-locaux,
Thai has the habit of
ne sont pas
saying
limités
we are all being nirvanized.
à l'endroit où nous vivons.
We are not local.
Vous pensez à
We are not limited by this small space.
Nous n'avons
When
pas
you think
forcément
of someone that you love,
pour être en contact les uns avec les autres.
yes,
N'oubliez
we
pas
don't
de
need material
chaque instant de votre
things to be in touch with one another. Please
petit trésor déjà
develop
qui va bien.
gratitude at each instant of our lives. All the small gifts.
Que je voulais
Already
dire,
our bodies are working, no?
vraiment pour terminer,
Here we are.
par rapport à nous-mêmes,
Then what I would like to say
auxquels
to
nous sommes
conclude,
Taille
with
nous
respect to ourselves, with respect to the world, our friends, our family, we are completely occupied by all of this, yes? Love. Pai has spoken about this. You have heard me, yes? The only response is love. The only solution is love. Thank you for being there. Thank you for having the patience to listen to my voice. Very soft and gentle, could put you to sleep. Thank you. There we are.